In a time when Detroit reigned supreme, a smaller automaker dared to challenge convention. This is the story of the AMC 327 V8, the underdog's muscle, the rebel's heart, and a workhorse born of grit and innovation. American Motors Corporation, or AMC, knew its place, not as a giant, but as an intelligent challenger. In the mid-1950s, AMC needed a V8 to compete credibly. Their early solution had been buying Packard V8s, but that was only temporary. The engineering team set out to build their own. They began with a 250 cubic inch V8 in 1956. Then, by increasing the bore to a full 4 inches, they developed the 327. The stroke remained at 3.25. That allowed AMC to reuse much of the architecture, castings, valve gear, cam profiles, with minimal retooling. It was conservative, but it was smart. The aim was reliability over risk. And while it shared the same bore and stroke dimensions as Chevrolet's 327, AMC's design was entirely different. No parts interchanged. The electrojector experiment. For a company known for playing it safe, AMC flirted with radical innovation. They partnered with Bendix on something the industry had never seen: electronic fuel injection. In 1957, the Rambler Rebel was supposed to be the first production car in America with EFI. Reports claimed nearly 288 horsepower. But the technology was too far ahead of its time. Early electronics faltered in cold starts. Suppliers couldn't keep pace. Most units were converted back to carburetors. Still, AMC had proven its ambition. They weren't content to simply follow. They wanted to lead. Performance and specs. Let's look under the hood. The AMC 327 used a cast-iron block and heads, overhead valves, and hydraulic lifters. Two main versions defined its run. The two-barrel carburetor, with an 8.7 compression ratio, rated at about 250 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque. The four-barrel, with 9.7 compression, delivered around 270 horsepower and nearly 360 pound-feet. And in its prototype EFI form, 288 horsepower. These numbers were gross ratings, measured without accessories. Real-world output was lower, but the engine's real strength was torque, low-end grunt that made it a perfect match for both family sedans and heavy-duty trucks. The AMC 327 found its way into a remarkable variety of machines. The limited production 1957 Rambler Rebel, about 1,500 units. Ambassadors of the early 1960s, where the 327 was the flagship option. And in the sleek Rambler Marlin, thousands were fitted with 2- and 4-barrel versions. By 1965, AMC sold the 327 to Kaiser Jeep. In Gladiators and Wagoneers, it was marketed as the Vigilante V8. Its torque and durability gave Jeep a power plant tough enough for work, towing, and backcountry travel. Through Gray Marine, the 327 powered boats under the Fireball name, tuned anywhere from 188 to 238 horsepower. On land or water, the 327 proved adaptable. Pinning down exact production numbers is difficult. AMC rarely published engine-by-engine counts. We know the 1957 Rebel was limited to around 1,500 units. We know that in 1965, of about 10,000 Marlins built, 6,000 carried the 327. And we know Jeep used the Vigilante version until 1968. Compared to the millions of small blocks rolling out of GM and Ford plants, AMC's totals were small. The result is rarity. Today, original 327 cars and trucks are hard to find and prized by collectors. By the mid-1960s, AMC was ready for a new generation. In 1966, they launched the Gen 2 V8s, the 290, the 343. These were lighter, more modern, and easier to adapt for emission standards that were just around the corner. The old 327 was phased out of cars by 1967, and its last stand came in Jeep trucks and Wagoneers through 1968. It had served its purpose well, but the industry was moving on. Today, the AMC 327 is more than just a footnote. It's a reminder of what a smaller automaker could achieve with ingenuity. It bridged cars, trucks, and boats. It almost delivered fuel injection a decade before anyone else. And it gave AMC the credibility it needed in the horsepower wars of the 1960s. Enthusiasts still restore Rebel 327s, Ambassador DPLs, Jeep Wagoneers, and even gray marine craft. The engine's reputation for torque and toughness still carries weight. It was never the most famous V8, but it was one of the most interesting. The AMC 327, the Rebel's heart, remains a symbol of innovation from the edges of the industry. It may not have changed the world, but it proved that even in Detroit's shadow, a small company could leave a lasting mark. And for those who know its story, the Rebel's heart still beats.